The next lesson, that is 7, a visit to Cambridge. Cambridge, what do you mean by Cambridge? It is the name of a university, Cambridge University. Understood? Old times, as we say Kerala University or Karnataka University, like that we are given this London. This is the famous university, Cambridge University. Understood? So there we are going to see what is the reason for the visit in that Cambridge University. This is a story of a meeting between two extraordinary people. What do you mean by extraordinary? Not ordinary, something special, isn't it? Something special. That means both of them are disabled. Meeting of two people who are of the same position, disabled or differently abled. Differently abled. That means they are not like a normal people, but still their mind is working. So physically they are having problem. They are not equal to the normal person, but mentally they are very intelligent. Understood? Both of them disabled or differently abled. As we now see, Stephen Hawking. Who is the person? Stephen. I think you have heard about Stephen Hawking. 2 years before already he died. The news was in the newspaper also. Newspaper and all, this whole article had come about Stephen Hawking. One of the great, he is a great scientist. He is a great scientist of our time. He suffers from a form of paralysis. Suffering from paralysis. Paralysis means the body parts cannot be moved. That movement, yes, the movement of the body parts confines him to a wheelchair, and he is moving from one place to another with the help of a wheelchair. You all know what is a wheelchair. The people who are not able to walk freely are being led in a wheelchair. Understood? In the hospitals, when the patient is too much, cannot walk further or cannot stand, such people are being taken in the wheelchairs. Here, not of that sort, because his body was paralyzed. Other than the head, the body parts are paralyzed. Paralyzed means cannot move freely. So he is not able to walk. As a result, he has to go in a wheelchair. And allows him to speak only by punching buttons on a computer. Even he cannot speak with the help of computer. Punching the buttons of the computer, he is making the people understand what he wants to say. See how much imagine the appearance as well as how much struggle that particular person is taking. Buttons on the computer which speaks for him in a machine like a voice. So actually who is producing the sound there? The machine, isn't it? What he wants, it is being punched on the keyboard of the computer, and that is given as the voice of that great scientist Stephen Hawking. Firdaus Kangar. The next person is Firdaus disabled, we have said two disabled person. One is Stephen Hawking and the next one Firdaus Kanga. He is a writer. He is a writer and a journalist. Who is a journalist? One who writes in a magazine or a newspaper. Who lives and works in Mumbai. So where is he? He in Mumbai. Kanga was born with brittle bones. Brittle means no strength for the bones. All the time breaking bones. That tended to break easily when he was a child. So from very early childhood days itself, what is the problem with the Kanga? Brittle bones. His bones are not healthy enough. They used to break down. So because of breaking down the bones, is that person able to do anything? He also is not able to do anything. If your bones are broken, are you able to stand, or are you able to move your hand or any part of your body? Wherever the bones are there, if it is breaking down into pieces, what happens? You are not able to do anything as a normal person does, isn't it? So that is the disease of whom? Kanga, and here is the paralyzing. Like Hawking, Kanga moves around in the wheelchair. So both of them are, how are they moving from one place to another? In a wheelchair. Now understood? The two great people, one the great scientist and the other one the great journalist as well as a writer, isn't it? But both has to depend on wheelchair. So first one, he is with the help of punching the buttons in a computer. So now we have seen the two disabled one. First one, Stephen Hawking, the great scientist, and his body was totally paralyzed. Second one, Firdaus Kanga, he is a great writer and a journalist. But what is the problem with him? Brittle bones, that is the disease. That means breaking down of bones. So both are dependent on wheelchair. Understood? The two great men exchange thoughts on what it means to live life in a wheelchair and on how the so-called normal people react to this disabled. So both how their life on the wheelchair, and at the same time how do the normal people react to the life of these two great people. Understood? Now we come to the lesson. Cambridge was my metaphor for England. So England means what is? According to according to the that is here I mentions who he is. Firdaus Kanga is coming to meet Stephen Hawking. Understood? So according to Firdaus Kanga, Cambridge means England. He is saying it is not like England, it is England. It is a metaphor. Metaphor means saying that it is, not comparing, saying that it is. So England means Cambridge. Clear to you? And it was strange that when I left it had become altogether something else, because I had met Stephen Hawking there. So they both had met where? In England, in the Cambridge University. Understood? It was on a walking tour through Cambridge that the guide mentioned Stephen Hawking. Poor man, he is quite disabled now, though he is a worthy successor to Isaac Newton, whose chair he has at the university. So Stephen Hawking, we have said already, he is a great scientist. He is a great scientist who is equal to Isaac Newton. goes up will come down on the earth itself, isn't it? That means earth is having the attraction to pull everything towards it. That is the law of gravity. So saying in the Cambridge University, the chair where Isaac Newton had used, it is now using of whom? Stephen Hawking. Chair he was at the university. And I started, here I refers to Kanga, Firdaus Kanga, because I had quite forgotten that the most brilliant and completely paralyzed astrophysics means dealing with the astronomy, that is dealing with the stars and planets. Astrophysics, the author of A Brief History of Time, one of the biggest bestsellers ever lived. So that is the great book of whom? Stephen Hawking. Understood? I had quite forgotten that the most brilliant and completely paralyzed. Who is completely paralyzed? Stephen Hawking. And his book A Brief History of Brief History of Time is a bestseller at that time. That means demand for that book. When the walking tour was done, I rushed to the phone booth. Phone booth means where we give a telephone call, almost tearing the cord, so he could reach out outside, phoned Stephen Hawking's house. So when his walking time was over, he ran to the telephone booth and gave a call to whom? Gave a call to Stephen Hawking's house. There was his assistant on the line. So who had taken the receiver? Stephen Hawking's assistant. And I told him I had come in the wheelchair from India. Perhaps he thought, because where is he working? He is a writer and a journalist in Mumbai to write. And here, where is he? In England. Understood? He is in England. So he is saying I had come from India to write about my travels in Britain. I had to see Professor Hawking. Even 10 minutes would do. Half an hour he said. From 3:30 to 4. So he had said that I had come from India to meet whom? To meet Stephen Hawking. At least I need half an hour. That is from 3:30 to 4 o'clock. Arrange for me to meet whom? Stephen Hawking. Understood now? So who had come to Stephen Hawking? Firdaus Kanga. So while he came there, he had come over there to meet whom? Stephen Hawking, the brilliant scientist. Understood? And asked only for 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes to give him for meeting him. Half an hour he said, from 3:30 to 4. And suddenly I felt weak all over. Growing up disabled, you get fed up with the people asking you to be brave, as if you have a courage account on which you are too lazy to draw a check. The only thing that makes you stronger in seeing somebody like you achieving something huge, then you know how much is possible and you reach out further than you ever thought you would. So these people, this disabled one, will be happy only when they see one of them of the equal possibility. Understood? So if they see the normal people feel sympathy over it, that they do not want. Understood? But they like to meet only whom? A person of their own possibilities. That means disabled only. Disabled will like to meet only the disabled, and they want to know how they interact or how they are seen in the society. Understood? And suddenly I felt growing up disabled to be a disabled, you get fed up with the people asking you to be brave. So others, normal people will say, be courageous. So that they don't want to hear. Understood? They are fed up of hearing those words. That means sympathy from others. It is not an act of sympathy. If you have a courage account on which you have too lazy to do it, the only thing that makes you stronger. So they become strong only when seeing somebody like you. That means somebody like you, how you are suffering, the same possibility like the other one also will have. Only then they become strong enough, not seeing the normal people. Understood? And you reach further than you ever thought you could. I haven't been brave, said that disembodied computer voice. Next afternoon, I have had no choice. So, how is this Stephen Hawking, the great scientist, speaking? Only by punching on the buttons of the computer, and the voice is mechanical. Machine voice is produced. Understood? I have no choice. Surely I wanted to say, living creatively with the reality of the disintegrating body was a choice. That means living creatively, doing something creative with this body. What kind of body? Disintegrating the body which is not coming according to our wish, isn't it? Because he is totally paralyzed. So with that paralyzed body, doing something creative is the most important. But I kept quiet because I felt guilty every time I spoke to him, forcing him to respond. So Ganga felt a little bit guilty. Why? Because every time and every moment when he asked the question, what Stephen has to do? He has to punch on the computer in order to give the answer for that. So feeling that, who felt sad? Ganga felt sad. There he was tapping at a little switch in his hand, trying to find the words on the computer with the only bit of movement left to him. His long pale fingers which are not able to do anything. Even so often his eyes would shut in frustrated exhaustion, getting frustration, irritation. And sitting opposite him, I could feel his anguish. I can understand his emotion. I can understand his feeling. The mind buoyed with the thoughts. Mind is full of thoughts that came out in frozen phrases and as stiff as corpuscles. Corpuscles means where the dead body is being covered. So it is very stiff. So like that, those words are very stiff and courageous. A lot of people seem to think that disabled people are chronically unhappy, I said. So Kaka said, majority people are thinking these disabled people are themselves, how are they? Unhappy. I said, I know that is not true. Myself, are you often laughing inside? That means it is not true as far as these disabled people are concerned. If anybody says that they are unhappy, they are laughing inside, they are laughing in their mind. Why? Because they are not feeling unhappy because of their chronic stage. About 3 minutes later, he responded, I had it amusing when people patronize me. Patronize means favor me. At the same time, no kind of favor also they need. Understood? Patronize means favor. And do you find it annoying when someone like me comes and disturbs you in your work? And also at the same time, Kanga is having that thing that whether people like him when coming and asking him the questions, is he feeling annoyed? So now the answer flashes. So what was the question asked by Kanga? Whether he is getting insulted when certain questions are being asked him. Answer flashed yes. Then he smiled his own way smile, and I knew without being sentimental or silly that I was looking at one of the most beautiful men in the world. So in that answer also there was a smile in his face. Understood? At a first glimpse means at my first view of him is shocking because he is like a still photograph. So when looking at that person, Stephen Hawking, it seems to be like a figure only with no movement. So we think it is a photograph. It is not a breathing soul. As if all those pictures of him in magazines and newspapers have turned 3 dimensions. Then you see the head twisted, side twisting, moving from one side to the other into a slump and torso shrunk inside the pale blue shirt. Then it is going inside the shirt. Like a spring, it is going twisting and getting inside the shirt. The wasted leg of no use. You look at his eyes which can speak, but the eyes are so bright. It is the voice is coming actually from where? From his bright eyes. Still, and they are saying something huge and urgent. It is hard to tell what. So, we are not able to understand what is being said through his eyes because they are very bright. So, only that brightness shows that what a great man is Stephen Hawking. Understood? All rest part is paralyzed, of no use. Before you, like a lantern whose walls are all so thin, you glimpse only the light inside. Like a lantern, we are seeing only the flame of that light. He is the incandescence of the man, the great soul of that man. The body almost irrelevant, cannot do anything, of no use. Only like a case made of shadow. It is only an outer coverage. So that I do believer in eternal souls. Know that this is what each of us is. Everything else is assisted by that. Everyone is like that. Only the soul is the greatest one. Or physically, we have no value. Understood? What do you think is the best thing about being disabled? I had asked him earlier. I don't think there is anything good about being disabled. I think I said, you do discover how much kindness there is in the world. Yes, he said, it was a disadvantage of his voice. Sinister, that is, convey no infection, no shadow or tone. And I could not tell how enthusiastically he agreed with me. Every time I shifted in my chair or turned my wrist to watch the time, I wanted to make every one of our 30 minutes because he had already asked how many minutes? 30 minutes. I felt a huge relief and exhilaration in the possibilities of my body. He wanted to keep that time at the correct. How little it mattered then that I could never walk or even stand, because now he is satisfied because the same condition is having the greatest scientist also. I told him how he had been an inspiration beyond click for me and surely for others. Did that thought help him? No, he said. So when he had said, you are an inspiration for everybody, but Stephen said no. And I thought how foolish I was to ask. When your body is a claustrophobic room and the walls you are growing narrower day and day, it doesn't do much good to know that there are people outside smiling with admiration to see you breathing still. Nobody wants that, isn't it? When you are totally in the exhausted manner, nobody wants you to survive, isn't it? It is similar to the he is saying. Is there any advice you can give disabled? Now asking any advice you want to give for the disabled people. Something that might help make a life better, which will give an inspiration or motivation for those people. They should concentrate on what they are good at. I think things like the disabled Olympics are a waste of time. Going for an Olympic is a waste of time as far as a disabled is concerned. He has to do something creative of his own taste. He was to know what good he can do it. I know what you mean. The half hour was up. Now 30 minutes is over. I think I have annoyed you enough. Stay awaited. Have some tea. I can show you the garden. The garden was as big as a park. but Stephen Hawking covered every inch, rumbling along in his motorized wheelchair while a dog to keep so he was going forward and showing him all the garden and everything. Everything he is well known to that. We couldn't talk very much. The sun made him silent. The letters on his screen disappearing on the gate. An hour later, we were ready to leave. I did not know what to do. I could not kiss him or cry. I touched his shoulder and wheeled out into the summer evening. I looked back and I knew him waving, though he wasn't. Actually thinking that he was giving me goodbye. Watching him, the embodiment of my bravest self, the one I was moving towards, the one I had believed in for so many years around, I knew that my journey was over. So for a long time, he was willing to see the great scientist, and finally he got how many hours? 30 minutes to spend with him, where he was self-satisfied. Okay. So now you have to go through the lesson, read it, and collect the article which had been 2 years before it has been published in the newspaper, or you in the net you will be able to get it, and collect certain information about the Hawkins, Stephen Hawkins. Understood now? The notes will be sent to you. Thank you.